So in this video, we're going to be comparing the all-new Auxetic Extreme MP to its brother, the Extreme Tour, to figure out which is best for your game. So the Extreme line is Head's spin line, but for the Auxetic update, there have been some steps to reduce spin and power a little bit in favor of comfort and control. That comes in a tighter string pattern for the Extreme MP and lower RAs for both the MP and Tour. While there are similarities between the two, there are some pretty important differences too. The big one comes from the beam design. While they generally have the same mold shape, the beam thickness on the MP is significantly thicker than the Tour, coming in at 23, 26, 21 with the MP over a 22, 23, 21 with the Tour. We've also got a bigger 100 square inch head size with the MP, which overall increases forgiveness compared to the 98 of the Tour. Yes, there is a 5-gram weight difference between the two, but if you're like us and you got a couple of rackets that are off spec, you might actually end up with an MP that is heavier than the Tour, as Head has a plus/minus 7 grams weight quality control limit. The next thing is the swing weight difference, and well, yeah, that is going to also be affected by the quality control. The MP is a little bit higher at 322, and the Tour favors speed, coming in at 317. The last difference that I want to touch on is the twist weight, because this is also related to the increased forgiveness on the MP. It's not super high for a modern 100 square inch racket at 14.35, and the Tour's twist weight is very low, coming under 14 at 13.94, something that's quite unusual for these modern 98 square inch rackets.
Okay, ladies and gents, today we are going to be playing 11s against a semi-pro named the Extreme. I am going to be using both the MP and the Tour version of the new Extremes with the avocado cut. We'll see how it goes. Zeros, ready? So, as you can see, the MP has a bigger frame, and that's 100% why that happened. But, sorry, with this new racket and the Auxetic tech, it does have a really unique feel to it. Nice shot. But it doesn't lose some of the control that you suffer when you use the Tour like this, and the thinner beam.
So in my playing experience with these two rackets, there are two key differences in how they behave on court, and that is consistency and forgiveness. The Extreme MP's thicker beam, larger head size, and stiffer frame all lead to a much more forgiving experience when you're making contact with the ball.
So with this one, it feels a lot lighter on contact somehow, but not through the air. And I think that's in part just due to the thicker battle out.
I said on the court that the Extreme Tour feels heavier through the air, but lighter on contact with the ball. And what I really meant was, it's just a much more flexy racket. So when you hit the ball, especially when it's coming at you hard and fast, it just feels less stable. And that really leads to a less confidence-inspiring shot. And in my experience, it really just started to eat away at my game, so that I never really felt comfortable on the court, even when I had the opportunity to step in and make a bigger shot.
The thicker beam on the racket on the MP really helps it stay sharp as it contacts the ball. That being said, this racket still feels maybe nicer than I remember it. Good shot.
Are you gonna try to win a point, Simon?
I can't while I'm talking. Also, I've won 2 points already. What's the score? Sure, 2-all. It's not the score, he's being nice, but see, on those ones, that just flew on me for no reason.
Those aspects allowed me to play shots that I wanted to play. It's much, much, much more forgiving off-center because it doesn't suffer from the same flex experience that you have in the Tour and all of the other Auxetic rackets that we've been testing out so far.
Extreme has a lot of pace, even more than Beckett, although that does happen sometimes.
I'll admit Extreme has significantly more pace than Beckett. You can see him, he's shirtless and he's actually has muscles.
Which is unusual.
See? I hope our female audience really gets a lot of that, the 0.001% of you.
Oh, see in there, it's just that confidence. You can redirect. There's no flex when you hit the ball. It's just really consistent and uniform.
The next key point that I want to talk about with the Extreme MP is the consistency. And that's down in part to its higher stiffness on the frame. This is the stiffest Auxetic racket that we've tested so far. And because of that, it didn't suffer from the unpredictable flexing experience on contact that we experienced in every single other Auxetic racket we've tried up to this point.
Ooh, some power, but he misses it as per usual.
Shut your mouth. 6-4.
Look at him fall back into his shot.
Nice shot. Even though I'm swinging harder, it feels like with the Tour, the MP generates more pace. And it just feels so much easier.
Oh, here he comes.
Oh no.
Do you have to say for yourself, oh God.
Second part of this is the tighter string pattern on the Extreme MP. It now has a much lower and more predictable launch angle, which really lets me step into the ball and go for my shots in a way that I just wasn't comfortable doing with the Extreme Tour.
I'm exhausted already. Come on, son.
If there is one con with the Extreme MP, it's that thicker beam. It's both a blessing and a curse for this racket. While it does look worse, and that is something that I care about, it's more so just that it seems to get in the way. When you're making shots, if you don't hit it on center and you catch a part of that frame, you are going to be shanking this ball a lot more often than you would with the Extreme Tour. And that's just something that I wasn't expecting. I'd never used a thicker beam in my rackets before, and I didn't think it would be nearly as big of a deal as it was.
When are you liking better?
Too tired to talk.
Wow, he's mad.
Oh. Nice shot.
Damn, that was like 1,000 miles an hour.
I don't know what the score is. Let's call it 10-5. Try and get one more here.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I can't wait to yell as you play.
But with that being said, I really do prefer the Extreme MP. Like I said, it is a much more predictable, confidence-inspiring, and forgiving racket in comparison to the Extreme Tour. So for that, I have to go with the Extreme MP.
Okay, I'm starting off my 11s with the MP, because gotta start easy.
Get a nice butt shot of Beckett here.
The two things that impressed me most with the Extreme MP were the stability I found in stock form, but also the above average feel you get compared to other power-oriented 300 gram 100 square inch rackets.
Ones. This MP has great stability for the weight. There's not a lot of 100 square inch rackets that I feel good about blocking that kind of power back with.
The Extreme MP was a racket at that 322 swing weight that, combined with that thicker beam, I felt comfortable playing stock. I was able to generate enough power to hit through bigger hitters, and there was more than enough stability on tap to redirect pace. That was surprising considering that 14.35 twist weight is a little bit lower than rackets that I also really liked in stock form, like the Yonex E-Zone 100. Both of those rackets are great at redirecting pace, and they have slightly tighter 16x19 patterns, so you feel like you're always in control and you always know what's going to happen with your shot after it leaves the string. So you're getting that unpredictable launch with the 2019 Pure Arrow or the outgoing Grapplesnake Pure Drive, because both of those rackets have super open 16x19 string patterns.
It's times like that where I just don't quite have the directional control. I feel like on my forehand with the MP. Give a fist bump.
The feel on the Auxetic Extreme MP is also outstanding. I didn't like the previous version. It was way too brassy, too much vibration, and felt hollow. Whatever this Auxetic stuff is, it does seem to add a more solid feel to the Extreme MP, and that's something that I really enjoyed for this racket. I always felt connected, and I wasn't losing the ball in the string bed in the same way that I can with rackets that are more muted, like the aforementioned Bablats.
I feel like I'm done with the MP. It doesn't give me the control that I need to take full swing sometimes. The beam is a little bit too thick, too much.
With the Tour, we all know that I've been using the previous version of the Extreme Tour for a long time, and initially I really didn't enjoy the Auxetic update to the Tour. As I've hit with it more, I have come to appreciate its nuances a little bit more in terms of feel. Like the ball pocketing is outstanding with the Auxetic Extreme Tour.
When you're playing with like a high caliber player, this one does feel more solid, the Tour. I think like part of my issue with reviewing this racket with Simon is I've got a lot of variability in my stroke speed. I do not practice overheads. When you're playing with someone like John, you just need to rip every ball. The flex of the Auxetic becomes a lot more predictable and consistent. Something I'm coming to learn as I play more of it. Oh wow, that was so weak.
But it's still not something that I can quite trust. It does have that flex still, I just can't quite get over it. Yes, when I do keep my swing speed more consistently high, I feel like I get a better response off the string bed, but I'm just not good enough of a player to constantly rip every single shot. I don't have that kind of constant aggression in my mindset and in my arsenal when I'm playing tennis.
No. See how much better I am than you, Simon? He's as humble as he is hairy.
I think for a lot of players, the Auxetic version of the Extreme Tour answers a lot of things that they were looking for with the previous version. I think it's going to be a really natural transition for players who are using the EZO 98 but want something with a little bit more feedback, a little bit more responsiveness, because it does have way better comfort than it did before. It has better ball pocketing experience, and you're getting quite a decent amount more power from that slingshotting flex that we've been talking about in our other videos.
It's okay. Can't feel bad about that miss. But you can feel bad about that. It's just like, come on.
At the end of the day, for me and my game, I think I would probably prefer to switch to the Extreme Tour just for familiarity, and it has better directional control than the MP for sure. But that said, I think the MP is a better racket. It feels more consistent, it feels more responsive. It does a better job of what I expect from a racket, and it's a racket that you can play comfortably in stock form.
Apologies for the quality drop off at the end. Oh! Yeah.
The Tour, I think a lot of players are going to struggle with it in stock form. It's definitely better stock than the last version was, but it doesn't quite tick all the boxes for me. It needs a little bit more swing weight, and that low twist weight gets pushed around in stock form. If you do hit a ball off center, there's not much with that racket helping you out. So it's all down to you and your swing speed and what you can do with a racket.
Oh, John. He's rusty. He hasn't played for months.
So with that said, for most players, my recommendation is to the MP. I think it's great if you're coming from like an older Aero Pro drive and you like that denser, more raw feedback. If you want something more controlled and you're coming from a new pure Aero or a pure drive, the Extreme MP is great.
Let's go.
Oh, you win.
Now, if you have any questions, hit us in the comments. We respond to every comment that pops up on our feed, and we both have a phone addiction and constantly reply to them.
That was on the ground. Give a fist pump.
This is what they all do now. It's so disgusting.